Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Steady Focused. I'm your host, I'm your number one, Mr. SimeonHendrix. In this episode, I'm going to flip the script a little bit. There's a young man in town here in Wichita Falls. He hit me up. His name is Steven Alex Garcia. He is a photographer in the area. He hit me up and said, "Yo, Simeon, I like the work you're putting out. I think it's good. I'd love to sit down with you, pick your brain, talk photography, talk brand building, and just kind of pick up some tips from you. Can we do that?" It worked out. I had some free time, and I love teaching. The best way to learn is what? To teach. So, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to sit down with you. We went to Odd Duck Coffee, downtown Wichita Falls. He bought me some coffee, and I just set the camera up, and I recorded our conversation, and I thought, man, it turned out pretty good. And so I was telling him, I think this is information that if it's a question that you're having, Steven, then odds are someone else is also having this same question. So I just recorded it, wanted to share it with you guys. But yeah, we talk about photography. We talk about building a brand. We talk about ways to use Instagram. We talk about Gary Vaynerchuk and quite a bit of different things. But anyway, I think it's really cool. It's Friday, Steady Focused Fridays. The episodes are coming out every Friday, guys. I don't know if you've been noticing that, but I try to do 4 or 5 episodes, then I take a week off. 4 or 5 episodes, take a week off. So anyway, it's Friday is the day I'm releasing this, and I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you guys have had a great week. I hope you put in some hard work. You went after some goals. I hope you failed, because failure strengthens us, right? If we learn from it, if we choose to. Okay, go back and listen to the episode that we did on failure. That was a powerful episode. But anyway, I could go on forever, but I want to jump into this with my man, Steven Alex Garcia, and he interviews me a little bit. So anyway, enjoy it. Here it is. All right, dude. So what made you want to reach out to me?
Well, I see all your posts that are doing very well on social media, and I was just like, the best way to learn is to ask to learn.
Awesome.
So if you know that someone's doing well, why not learn from the best?
Awesome.
So that's why I went to you.
Okay.
I see the way you do your editing on your pictures; it's fantastic.
Okay.
I see that you're like getting tons of attention on social media and stuff. So
Okay.
you know what? I can learn something from you.
Awesome.
So that's
All
why I
right.
hit you up.
Yeah, you're very cool. Thank you.
So right now, I really want to start a vlog.
Okay.
But I don't know. One of the reasons why I haven't really started is I have all these ideas in my head, but I'm not really sure on how to just not express it in a sense, but to actually put it out there.
Okay.
Right now, I have this idea for a vlog, but it's kind of inspired by Being the Elite. This is this really big YouTube channel. And it's half vlog when all this stuff is actually going on, but it's kind of scripted at the same time.
Okay.
And I'm just really trying to figure out how do I approach starting a vlog and stuff like that.
Okay. Well,
literally just putting your foot in the water.
yeah. So how would I answer that?
Mm-hmm.
I would just say do it.
Just do it.
Jump straight into it. It's like, and I'm learning all the freaking time, and I'm failing all the time, but it's like the best way to learn is just do it.
Really?
Just freaking do it, and know that our first episode is not going to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, oh man, but there's a lot of us that just sit back and don't, because we're afraid it's not going to be perfect. We're afraid people are going to laugh at us. We're afraid, it could be so much better. And then we just don't even get started. And so we never pass the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just still sitting there like, oh, but dude, you should understand what I'm thinking. That shit's awesome. And then it's like this other guy's just like, man, this sucks. I'm not doing the best, but I'm just figuring it out.
Just grinding.
Yes. So I would say just do it and evaluate mid-flight. Like you're cruising, you're like, gosh, man, this sucks. Okay, well, why is it sucking? Well, I didn't have my settings right on the camera. Okay, well, adjust the settings. Put on another one. Why did it suck?
Well, my audio was wrong. Okay, do we need to get new audio? Do we need to mic somebody different? What was wrong with it? Oh, it sucked. It was boring. Okay, why was it boring? Oh, well, it was just me staring at the camera the whole time, and I didn't like that. Okay, why didn't you like it? How could you do it different? And then just try it and try it. And man, I'm totally doing that right now with. I'm putting a lot of time into steady focused. A lot, dude. Like just mentally thinking about it when I'm not working on it.
Yeah.
But then also implementing the episode, writing it up. I really try to put out a 60-second trim out and put it on Instagram. And then post the thing on YouTube and Facebook, and then it goes up on the website as well. So most of the attention really is on Facebook. That, for me, what I'm doing is where it's at. YouTube is not so much, but I realized that if I was making videos like more like how to set up a Zoom to record, that people are actually searching on YouTube, I could grow it faster. So anyway, I'm having an issue right now about like an evaluation. Like, all right, Simeon, what is the best way for you to spend your energy that I'm putting out there? Like, what is my best way to get the maximum impact, to reach the most people, but also, you know, feel satisfying and everything. So I could just sit back and not do an episode and just like, well, let me really think about it. But I'm really trying every Friday to drop an episode. And then about every 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks-ish, take a week off just to have a week off, and then just keep going. And then, like, okay, well, shit, I'm not liking this, or... Yeah, so I think I'm learning out loud as well, and I think I'm much better that I'm just doing it versus not. And
so it's pretty much just do it, because if you don't do it, it's not going to be out there, and you're never going to learn how to improve yourself if you just don't do it.
Totally, man.
Awesome. So
yeah.
What camera do you use to film your vlogs? Do you use an iPhone, or do you use
I would use right now I'm using an Android.
Okay.
It's a HTC something. I downgraded from the iPhone, went through a bunch of financial stuff. I was getting ready to go straight freelance at the beginning of this year. I left the agency. I was at Hoegger Communications. I gave a 3-month notice. All right, I'm going to go totally on my own. So I got my website ready, got my portfolio ready, was just preparing. I had accepted the fact that my house might get foreclosed. You know, I was like, let's be serious about this. What's worst case scenario? Well, worst case, for 3 months, I might not have enough money to survive. So what can I lose? Well, I could lose my house. I could move in with my father. I can downgrade my phone. I gotta have my truck, so I'm gonna keep that. You know, I was just kind of prioritizing, like, what can I do without? So I downgraded my phone, got to that, but it's still a good phone. But I would do vlogs with an iPhone, sure. But my main camera is the GH4, and then I also shoot with the Sony A7S too. So, like, it's kind of my second camera that I can use on my personal stuff. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm using.
Okay, cool. Now, you started this brand. It's really cool. You got a lot of traction going. How did you start your own personal branding? Like, tell me, like, from start to now.
Okay.
How did this all begin?
Well, it started, I could say, doing a brand has been something I've been into for a while. I was in a band, an actual band, for 10 years.
What band was it?
It was a band called Downstairs, like people staring down on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the name, and it's like, shit, you know, I still say it a lot now, but anyway, that's what it was, and man, we went hard for 10 years, and I toured all over the country, played with a lot of my heroes and shit. So during all of that, we grew that, and sold a lot of merchandise, and I loved it, you know, so that was fun. And then it came to an end, and still wanting to put out content and stuff, and then it was just SimeonHendrix.com, and I was doing videos and documentaries and stuff. And then about, maybe it's coming in on 2 years, that I was like, well, I really want to start something stronger, and put a name on it, a series. And then I just thought a lot, and I said, okay, well, Steady Focused. That's a good name. Even though I may drop the ED on the end because I realize it's difficult to say and understand that I'm saying focused. So and I'm like, shit, I don't want to get into another weird, like, what's that name? So I might just drop it and be Steady Focused. So anyway, but it was like, it started out to be, I'm going to document my journey as a photographer, and I'm going to learn these things and just kind of learn out loud. And then, but knowing in the back of my mind, I've got a big, strong love and passion for positivity and motivating and, you know, just kind of helping people. So then I also realized, like, Steady Focused can be about not just the focus on the camera, but it can be about, like, you know, just applying it to bettering our lives and, like, growing as humans. So I said, okay, well, this will be a good name. And that's really where it's evolving to now. Now I'm, you know, I'm doing more interviews with people who are just long game focused, and they've been working on something for a long amount of time. So anyway, and I just, for me, it's exciting. You know, I'm looking forward to rolling out merchandise for it, and like t-shirts, and I've got the hats.
Ball cap, yeah.
Yeah, so, but you know, it's kind of business and entrepreneur is something that I'm into as well. And I've studied a lot about it. I've got friends who are very successful at it, and it's just something I've been into. So
awesome. Earlier you mentioned being motivated and being positive and stuff like that. Have you ever heard of the law of attraction?
Mm-hmm.
Then, is that
Yes.
like how you got, like, is that where you got your inspiration for being all
well,
A1 motivated and stuff like that?
well, I don't know if it's if I'd say it's I know about the law of attraction and I believe it. I don't know if I don't have it at the forefront of my mind probably as much as I should to remind myself of that, but I do know that's true, and what I'm putting out there is more what I will attract. And so yeah, I guess you could say it is about, because I can really get fucked up mentally, you know.
Yeah.
I could dig in myself into it, and I can go as fucking dark as anyone, you know, and I did have a lot of that in my past, you know, and it was, that tattoo right there was down, even though the band that I was in was called Downstairs, but this was really about, I didn't kill myself. I mean, that was what that was, you know, and I wanted him when he did this to put it right over my wrist, like right there, but he was like, man, I can't, because in case you ever go to court, you need to have 2 fingers so you can always have a long sleeve shirt and the judge won't see your tattoos. And I said, okay. So, grew up in a lot of violence, dude, and like abuse and just horrible shit. And so I can identify, I understand it, but I'm like, I guess you could say, yeah, I do want to attract the positivity, you know? I do want that. And I want to attract the hard work and just cleaning up my house because I'm getting it kind of ready to move, and just finding, you know, 10-year-old writings and where I'm just thanking God and praying and asking to, like, take myself to the next level. I'm like, well, shit, that's what I'm asking for now, you know, so.
Well, that's cool. Now, back to, like, the Instagram stuff.
Okay.
Right now, for the longest time, my Instagram page was kind of just me doing bullshit casually, you know,
Okay.
not really paying attention to the algorithms or stuff like that.
Okay.
I've recently gotten to the point where I'm starting to get, like, followers every single day, which is really cool and all, but some of them, they come and go.
Yes.
The whole follow and then unfollow you thing.
Yep.
It's so annoying. Because I'm like, oh yes, I got a follower, and
Okay.
then like I'll go from 350 to 349, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh crap, now I'm up to 55, but then
Okay.
they all leave.
Okay.
How do I, like,
Deal with that?
well, not really deal with that, but like how do I, like, keep them from leaving? Not keep them from leaving, but get more like diehard, not
Okay.
fans, but
Yeah,
followers.
Followers who are going to be into what you're doing. Well, the number one thing we can do is, as much as we can, and it's fucking hard, but ignore the likes.
Yeah.
Ignore the fans, ignore the views, and just focus on putting out strong content. Focus on that. There are a lot of, I don't know if it's robots or what the fuck is going on with Instagram, but yeah, we're like, people just come in and then they'll leave, and they're just desperate, like hoping someone's gonna like them, so they're gonna reach out like, okay, well, unfriend them or unfollow them. So what I can say, what I really believe in is curate what you share. So if photography is the thing that you want to be talking about, or video or camera work, then that's all I would share mostly, you know, versus like one day I'm sharing about the camera, the next day I'm just kind of like working on my car, you know, because then my good friend Sean West, he talks a lot about people are going to put us in a box no matter what. So because we've all got so much going on, you know, and so we got to go ahead and tell that person what box to put us in, and we can tell them that by what we are sharing on our social feeds, or what we talk about whenever we see them in real life. So that's one thing I try to work hard at is on my Instagram, it's like positive shit or photography or video, you know, like that's all I want to share. So I would be consistent with whatever it is that you want to do, like just do that. That would be the main thing. And then I would not worry about the views or the likes and shit. Like, I almost wish there was a switch where you could just turn it off. You know, it's like, don't show me unless like someone would comment, then, because I don't want to leave someone hanging. But it's like, I wish there was an overlay, and I could just press it and turn all that off, and I could just focus on just the content, because that's what we got to focus on. Just put out the best we can do that day. There's a million people that are doing more than us, better.
Oh yeah.
There's a million people who are doing less than us. But one thing that I've heard is like, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but the strong majority of people are consumers, and that's all they do is consume. The people who actually create is a small amount.
Yeah.
So just even the fact that you're creating, you're up in a higher level. But we watch all these other people who are
millions upon millions.
Yeah, and they're doing massive things, and so that, yeah.
Because like the thing with my Instagram is it's a personal brand.
Okay.
Using myself, like I consider myself to be a freelance photographer / journalist / I just do a little bit of everything, like Heinz 57, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
How do I would you suggest like different hashtags, or
Okay.
like how do I get like more people to see it? And like
Okay.
one of the things I really don't like is Facebook, because like it used to be really cool when
Yeah.
when there was less parents on it, but now
Yeah.
it's become more than just a social media access. It's like literally your entertainment, it's your news,
Yeah.
it's how you connect with everyone. It is literally a giant marketplace, but I really don't like the fact that I don't really like the company itself
Yep.
as a whole.
Yep.
So that's why I don't really post that much. I kind of just really shit post on
Okay.
Facebook, just memes and cute little videos here and there.
Okay. So
Should I-
Instagram's your
That's my main thing.
Okay. All right.
That's the main thing.
Okay.
But should I go to Facebook and use it differently, because it is the future pretty
Yeah.
much?
Well, I know a lot of people get angry and frustrated, and Facebook sucks, and I get it 1,000,000%. But there's also value for connection there. So I don't know. I mean, I could totally see you say, hey, I don't want to even touch Facebook. Okay, great. Well, then I would double down on Instagram. For me personally, I am using Facebook, and I realize that some of the people that I'm wanting to talk to, I am able to reach through Facebook. Some of those people I'm able to reach through Instagram, you know? So I would, you know, if you're like, dude, Instagram's my thing, then great. Then I would just, you know, maybe pick 10, there's, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk,
Oh yeah,
right?
Gary Vee,
Yeah,
the man.
He's the man. So
Yes, sir.
And I've been a fan of his for a long time. And one of the things he just recently was talking about is you know, pick out 10 hashtags on Instagram. And what he's saying is, you know, like when you go onto Instagram, it'll show you the top 9 posts for that hashtag, and then go in and comment a genuine comment on that
$1.80 thing.
Exactly, yes. So so he's talking about doing that, and you know, you could do that and kind of, I would implement that. I mean, if Gary's saying do that, do it. Then I would also, you know, realize like, okay, these are the 10 hashtags that I think I could be finding myself in. And then, like he was talking about in that, it's like, if you keep doing that, you'll see what is going on in those top 9. You know, like, for example, I don't know if you ever go to ISO 1200. So it's a kind of a behind-the-scenes photography, I don't know if it's a channel or Instagram feed. And so anyway, what's hot on there is not only like, here's the great image, but you know, now you can slide over, so it'd be like, here's the great image, here's the behind the scene of that image. So just putting those
before and after
editing.
Yeah.
Those are, you know, I realize that combination is awesome.
Yeah.
So even if you're doing, you know, your band photography, so you take your shot and then have someone, as much as you can, like tell them like, get a picture of me taking this picture. So then I can see like, oh wow, Steven put this awesome thing together, and then and this is what it looked like from the back, you know. So that's big. And then a lot of that is like off-camera flashlighting and stuff. So then sometimes we'll draw up a diagram, you know, like this is how I would lit it and stuff. And so I've realized like, okay, that works. A lot of people like that, and that gets them to the top. So, you know, looking at what are people consuming that's giving them value, right? Like Gary talked about, we want to give them value. Like we want to give value to them. So
just talking to more people and DMing.
You could, sure, we could, but we got to be careful about the way we do it, because then it could come off spammy or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, like he was saying, like liking their things, commenting on them, giving them a pat on the back, and then kind of like through reciprocity, it'll come back to us. So that is absolutely a way you could invest time if you want to do that. And I could see, well, if I'm just going to be scrolling a feed doing nothing, that would be a better use of my time, you know, at least giving back to someone else. So yeah,
I feel you. Now this is getting towards the money aspect of like photography and entertainment itself.
Yeah.
Recently I got my first like paid photo shoot, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, much respect to that young lady for paying me.
Okay.
I want to get more towards that aspect of it, like starting to make money off of like my shoots, because like not only is this my art, but I want to make this a craft.
Yes.
How do I like? How do I approach that part? Because right now I feel like I've been in the game for maybe about like a couple months now, 6 months. Since December.
Okay.
So like, how do I like approach my like not customers, because like they're not a customer until I pay you, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like, how do I get that out of? Not really. I feel like I'm like, give me your money, but like.
Well, how do you get paid for photography?
Yeah.
Well, I think you got to have some sort of something to show them. So like you have some sort of a portfolio or somewhere you've got a body of work that you can reference them to. So I think that'd be one. And then I would kind of identify who are the people that you want to reach out to. Maybe it's, I don't know if you want to do senior portraits, or you want to do band photography, or you want to do weddings, or whatever. You know, so I would kind of look at those people and then reach out to them, you know. So then it would be like, okay, well, how can I reach out to them? Where would they be at? Seniors, you know, it could be, I mean, you could do a Facebook ad, you know, promote it that way. Start with the people. It's always a good thing to start, who do you know first, and who already knows you, So your mom, your dad, your close friends will tell all of them, hey, I'm trying to get these gigs. Who do you know? And then they'll say, oh yeah, well Janet, she's about to graduate. Okay, cool. Would you put in a good word for Janet and I'll call her? Oh yeah, okay. So that's always the best. Like getting someone to recommend you is an awesome thing. And then once you do get with whoever, always ask them at the end of it, thank you for the work, I appreciate it. Here's your, now who do you know that I could work? Who do you know that would also value this? Always.
So building a filter, like a
yes.
funnel.
Yes, exactly. And the word of mouth and getting a recommendation from someone who's happy with your work, that's priceless. And then they're going to tell, oh, well, hey, well, yeah, because Jim is about to graduate next week, or, hey, do you do this or do you do that? Okay, yeah, I could also do that. So, yeah, and then you got to figure out, like, okay, well, what is the price? So I would kind of I would ask around. I mean, it seems like photographers, from what I'm seeing in the area, there's some that charge
$100 to $200 for a set of photos, anywhere between 12 to 11 with a little flash drive.
Yes, absolutely. There's another couple that I know that charge $400 for
Jesus.
2 or 3 hours of work. And then you talk to, like, we just did an episode with Adam Cole, and he's a videographer director, and he comes from the professional, like, commercial shoots, and a lot of those guys are just day rate. It's like a flat rate, $300, $400, $500, and I'll shoot all day. And then they hand off, they don't edit, someone else does that. So there's a lot of different ways to approach it, but yeah, I would kind of research it. If you're like, man, I want to make money, photographers, what is it? Hold on. There's a thing on Facebook. It's a huge group, and it's called IPS Mastermind, in-person sales. So they're photographers from all over, but it's about, don't just hand over a digital drive. Sell the person prints. And that's like, there's so many people, and that's where I was going. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to jump into freelancing. I believe what these people are doing, and it's just kind of taking it old school like it used to be. You would go to Life Touch or wherever, you'd get all your shoots. You get some great pictures, and then you pay them $3,000, $4,000, $1,000, how much, and get a framed piece of art, and you'd hang on your wall. And so this whole group is talking about doing that, and they've got courses and all this stuff, and people are regularly posting like, man, I just made $1,500, I just made $3,000. And it's about, like, have huge prints, so like here's a wall print, here's booklets, all the different stuff. And so I would definitely look into that, and because it seems like they're making great money doing that.
Most definitely.
And then they just charge a sitting fee that's not so much, or I don't know, $100, $200. I would say, as much as you can while you're on the climb, have a day job that will afford you the ability to say no to clients. So you'd be like, because once you jump 100% in, then sometimes you got to take jobs that
you wouldn't want to.
Right, or you're like, dude, this sucks. I'm not, or like it's demeaning, or you just hate it. So it's kind of a privilege that you can continue to love photography and take the jobs that you want to take. So, like, where I'm at right now is I'm very fortunate that at the hospital I work at, I do photography and video and social media for the hospital, and that covers my bills, and then I'll pick up a freelance job every once in a while. So I don't want a lot of client work. What I want to do is grow steady focused, and I want to continue to nurture that and let that grow up and have fun with it. So yeah, but if I wanted more client work, I would kind of position it a little bit different. But just the fact that I'm putting out so much, I think people like you, are identifying photography and video with Simeon because I'm putting out content around that.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I would do, put on your list, is put out the work that you want to get hired for. So if you want to get hired for amazing bridal shoots, like, get somebody and say, hey, listen, let me shoot this for free, but I need some stuff in my portfolio, and then just let them know, like, it's a trade-off. It's going to be free. I'm going to work a little bit slower, but and then just push it like a motherfucker. And you're like, if senior portraits are your thing, then just jump off the cliff with, like, how can I make the sickest fucking photos, period? Like, and what do I need to do? Like, is it just natural light? Maybe. Do I need to get some external flash or, lighting? Maybe. Or, yeah.
Now, I want to show you some of my work because, like, everyone tells me, oh, your stuff's good, it's good. But
Okay.
I'm like, I need to know what I need to improve on. So,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I would have brought my laptop, but that felt like a little too much for me.
Okay.
So I'm just going to show you my phone, like, show you my Lightroom.
Okay.
Because I have it all in the cloud. That's
Okay.
the coolest shit about it.
Isn't it?
Like, just to be able to use it from the cloud. But, it sucks if you're paying, like, the, not cheaper monthly stuff, but, like, the, it's like the college plan where
Yes.
it gives you, like, only a couple gigabytes of cloud.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
it's just, I'm like, I filled up my cloud already. I'm too lazy to delete everything else.
And the other one gives you like a terabyte, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's... I think I need flashes. In my opinion, that's like the number one thing I'm really needing is
Okay.
just like an actual flash, because I use
Okay.
the flash that's on my camera itself.
Okay. Well, man, what I'm using right now is a speed light, and it's Cactus.
Okay.
So it's inexpensive. I mean, relative. It was like, and then of course you've seen it, but there's the Yongnuo flash, which is like $100, and it's really good. But I kind of had some issues with it, so I went up to this, and I want to say it was like $200, and it'll do, TTL, and it'll do high-speed sync, and it'll do all this stuff. So, but you can get around it. You can use a softbox or like constant lights.
What's constant lights?
So instead of using a strobe or a speed light that just shoots out and then turns off, like when we're shooting video, you got to have light going the whole time. So that's really where I started with, because I started in video and then went over to photography. So I started out with just video lights, and so a softbox is, do you? I don't want to. Okay, well that's fine. So it's just we all start somewhere, dude. So here's your light, and then it's like it's like a black kind of thing that goes over the light, and it's got a white diffuser that drops over it. So it just softens the light instead of making it really harsh. And so you get a couple of those and light the subject like that. And then, hey, how's it going? Great, good to see you. So, anyway, so that's how I started. And then I went into strobe. But still, just a constant light is, whenever I light the physicians and they come in and I take their headshots, I still use it. So, and you can get one of those, like a full set, for $150, but the thing is you can't really take it outside and do anything with it. So you got to be like in your house or your studio.
So this is just like studio photography then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see what we got.
So here's some of my stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, that looks awesome. And then I'm thinking, like, what is awesome about this? Like, one of the cool things about it is how the light is on it. Right? And then you got an interesting subject. So that's the great thing about bands. Yeah, totally.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the things that's wrong with my photography is that, like, it's not bad. It's just, like, not as good as it could be. Is if I got particular lenses and particular flashes and stuff like that.
Okay.
There's some ideas that I have. I just want to know, like, what kind of lens would you suggest for these kind of pictures?
Well, I would say whatever lens you can get your hands on is the lens to use at the time. I mean, so if you say, man, I only got one lens, then what lens? I mean, if I'm gonna shoot if I had a zoom lens, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking if I was a band, would I value those pictures? Of course, yeah, I would. And I've been there. Like I've been the band, and every single show that we play, we want photos every time. I mean, so it's about. But the kind of the shitty thing with bands, the great thing is they look cool. It's super freeing, like you can pretty much do whatever you want and they're happy. But the bad thing is bands don't usually make money. So that's the thing until you get into bigger bands, and there are plenty of national acts that come through Iron Horse. You know, those are the guys that are getting paid the big money, or $1,000, $2,000 a night, whatever. And then so for those guys to say, hey, here's $200 or $300, however much you're going to charge for the night, then it's a lot easier for them to say yes, versus some of the local guys are like, dude, I'm only making $100.
So would you suggest like talking to like, because you know how Iron Horse they send out a promo on Facebook saying this is who's playing da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Should I talk to those bands before they come and play?
Absolutely, totally. Yeah, reach out to them ahead of time. Already have your. I would only have my absolute best.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe you'll give the band at the end of the night, you know, some of the ones you're like, oh, that's pretty good. But as far as what you have on your portfolio that you're sending out to these, I would just have my absolute top best. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that would be a great way. Find out what bands are coming in, reach out to them on Facebook, or reach out to their booking agent or their PR guy, depending on who it is. And yes, absolutely, ahead of time. Bam, hey, I heard you're coming to my city. That's great, because guess what? I'm the photographer in town, and this is what I offer. I'd love to work with you. Okay, great. How much are you going to charge us? Well, and then whatever you think that number is, and go for it, and then track it. You know, it's like, fuck it, I want to make $800 a night. Okay. See if anyone says yes, you know, but no one may say yes. Like, okay, well, what do I need to do? Okay, well, maybe I need to lower my price or do something even different, you know? And I think, which is what we were talking about, your vlogging, or my vlogging, or our everything, is just do it and track the results versus not doing anything. Like, well, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it for $25. And you're like, damn, everybody's going to say yes. But the trade-off is I may feel overworked. I may get resentful. I may hate this. But I got a lot of awesome stuff in my portfolio. So, all right, well, here's $25. Here's $1,000. No one's saying yes at $1,000. Some people are still saying yes at $100, $200. You know, just find it out. Mm-hmm. And then just keep fucking growing and doing the best. So what lens do you have that you're shooting with?
A 24 millimeter point. 24 millimeter. It's not the pancake. It's there's three lenses kind of like it. Okay. There's the two pancake lens, and there's this one that gives you a really cool blur. I forgot. Like, I know it's 24 millimeter, but I don't know the other.
So it's probably got a aperture number that's lower, like a 2.8 or something like that. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, guys, you could. The cool thing with. So, do you have a zoom lens?
I have what?
A zoom lens?
I think I do. It's like a longer lens, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or one that'll allow you to
get closer.
Get closer, but also pull back if you need to.
Yeah.
Okay. But then the trade-off on that, depending on how good the lens is, that you're going to lose aperture. So you're going to lose light whenever you zoom in, and you're going to get more of a focus area, depending on which lens you have. So, dude, and then here's something else. For me, okay, if I'm just like, bottom line, what lens would I go with if I had to pull something out of my ass? I would say something like a 50 or 85-ish, or if you had a zoom that would go from like an 18 to 55 or a 24 to 70, that's kind of where I would want, you know. And the good thing, if I have a second lens, you know, you might go like a 300, we can shoot all the way across the room. But the cool thing is, then you could rent a lens. You know, you're like, I got a big band coming to town. I got them hit up. Either I really want to grab some great shots for my portfolio, or these guys are paying me good. You know, it's a solid amount. So then I can rent a lens and pay $40, rent that nice lens, and then I'll just knock it out. So
if you had like 5 main tips that you would give me,
okay,
in general, with like photography,
okay,
everything in general, like building the personal brand and stuff like that,
okay,
what would it be?
Okay,
based off of everything that you see.
Yeah, I would say number 1, don't even think about the the numbers, like the likes, the shares, the subscribers. Focus on people who are actually connecting with you and go deep with them, right? Like Gary talks about, it's about the depth, not the width. So we can have 1,000 people on our Instagram, but no one really gives a fuck. Or we can have like 10 people who think, damn, Steven's the fucking coolest dude in the world. Like, listen to those people. Why are they following you? What do they think that's cool, and how can we help them? You know, so guys, like I just put up the other day, like, you guys want to see a video about me interviewing a band, or what? I don't even know. Or do we want to talk about the camera?
Yeah.
You know, I was just curious what that group would say on Facebook, and then they said, let's interview the musician. So I said, okay, let's go with that. So listen to the audience who is plugging in on you. So I would say do that. Fuck all the numbers. One of the great pieces of advice I heard was, show up every day for 2 years and don't expect anything. So think about long game. We're both young people. I know you're younger than me, but still, we're young men. We're going to be doing this till we're 80, 90. You know, we're going to be around for a long-ass time. Focus on the long game. Then I would say do it. Fail all the time. And evaluate, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What don't I like about this? Adjust it. And keep moving. That would be just keep moving. Man, I just in this move, like I said, I opened up some of my books when I first got into Photoshop, or I guess I'd been in it for a bit, and I remember I was selling these prints, and now just looking back on it, I mean, I was like, what the shit? This is like
This is garbage.
This is garbage. I'm like, but I mean, I remember I was proud of it, and I had put this book together, and I was telling, like, hey, I asked all my friends, like, you want to buy one of these? You can frame it and put it up on your wall. And I sold some of them, but just looking at them, like, damn, you know, I've come a long way. And if we just keep showing up, we're going to grow. So I would say that as well. Be consistent with what we're sharing. Like, if our thing is photography, then I would share about photography. Do what you're loving, and make the time for it. I think making the time it's really easy for us to say, like, oh, well, that's great, but I don't have time for it. I could never do that.
Yeah.
You got a job, which I get it. You're putting in your 40 or 50 hours, but what are you doing when you get off work? What are you doing at 4 o'clock in the morning? You're not waking up early to grind. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So, and I get it, because I make excuses in my own head, you know? So make the time, do it, continually evaluate, have fun, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you. This has been really, like, not eye-opening, but I've learned a lot.
Okay.
It's worth a cup of coffee.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, dude. Man, I remember not very long ago, a few years ago, there's a guy, Torrin Halsey, he's at the newspaper. He's the head photographer over there. And I was doing some shooting, and I didn't understand aperture and my shutter speed, and it was blurry. And I told him, I was like, dude, I got to take you to lunch, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong. And so he really helped me understand the triangle and ISO, shutter speed, aperture, and like, oh, that's why it's out of focus. or that's why I have a smaller focus area versus a large focus area, and just
Uh-huh.